Hi guys, welcome to the Scranton MMA show. This is Frank.
I'm Jess.
This is Tom.
And it's September 17th, 2018.
What number is this for us?
26.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, we're going to try some big new things for 50th. We don't really want to give too much away.
Yeah.
But
That's in like 25 or 24 weeks.
yeah, how long is that? That's like
6 months.
oh, that's a while.
I'm
Yeah.
doing something sooner.
Okay, we'll do
Something.
that. Maybe for the 35th. Who knows?
Goals.
Yeah. So it's Monday.
It is Monday.
This weekend was the Nogi Pan Ams tournament, IBJJF. The only person we had go was Christine. She did a great job. Really proud of her for going. She worked hard. Didn't come out with like a medal or anything, but I'm still, proud of her. That
Yeah, she did well. I give props to anybody that steps out on a competition setting.
Mhm.
It takes so much,
Moxie.
cojones
Yeah. That's a
To-
good way to say it.
to compete, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's easier not to compete than to compete. So whoever goes out there, props. If you don't go out there, it's not a big thing, but definitely props whenever you go out there.
I can't remember the last time she hasn't medaled.
Yeah, it's been
So
a
yeah,
little
oh
bit.
great, she competed. But with Christine, normally she's bringing home 1, 2, or more medals. So
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. You
Yeah.
go to big tournaments, go to real good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like a
so-
big division, like
Yeah. And it's always good when you, because she does both IBJJF and smaller tournaments,
Mhm.
but it's always good to go out and go against the best competition at the bigger tournaments, especially if you want to be more on the competitive side of things. If you're not proving it out there, like in the IBJJFs and stuff, then you really should.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
You don't know. Maybe you're closer than you think.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not. You gotta step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that's what's.
What would be like the IBJJF equivalent for judo?
So, I mean, what you just said, I didn't do for like, I don't know, 7,
Yeah, I
8,
did.
10 years. Like, I didn't even know about the like bigger tournaments. So there'd be in judo, we'd call them like the point tournaments or like the national tournaments. But I would go to like all these PA tournaments.
Yeah.
And I'm like taking a medal at like 66 kilograms, 81 kilograms. I thought I was awesome. And
Yeah.
then finally people were like, you gotta check these out.
Yeah.
And I got smoked. Like, you fight like Phil McLaurice and he's like, whatever. It was give or take that much of a difference at first, where like these guys were fighting me and like you would see this like calmness go over them, like, oh, he ain't ready. And I wasn't.
Mhm.
So like I had to completely change and gear up and just switch the way I was training because it was good enough, and I was good enough to do that at local PA tournaments, like the Keystone Games and our state championships. But then when I went to like the national and point tournaments, I was getting spanked. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, you had to change.
That was a similar story with me because I do all the local stuff, and it wasn't until I was like purple belt, deeper in the purple belt, when I figured out the IBJJFs, and it was quite a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah,
It was a step up in competition, and now we have people that are going out at these big tournaments at white belt,
Yeah.
and I always encourage that because you get used to competing at that level.
Yeah, you set the bar
Yeah.
high from the get-go. You're not like, you don't have to make that.
Because the first couple, it's nervous. You're like, holy
Oh,
cow,
gosh,
this
yeah.
is, like, you see, especially at the IBJJFs, you see, like, all the big names
Yeah,
in jiu-jitsu.
your heroes are out there
Yeah,
fighting
and
and
you're just
grinding
like, holy
and losing.
cow, yeah.
And losing. Like,
Yeah.
that guy's CPT. Oh, we just got tapped.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what happens, man.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
I think it's always good to start at the highest level as soon as possible, you
Yeah.
know?
Because it's a whole different process too with IBJJF.
Yeah.
Like, there's like forms you have to fill out, and like you have to register early and like make
Mhm.
sure you're in the right,
Weight
class.
class.
And
Yeah.
It's like a certain level of, like, professionalism.
yeah,
Where it's not just like,
And
And
then
it's good to get both, especially at a lower rank, but
I'm definitely a fan of doing both.
yeah.
Until you're super done, super super done with like
The local
the
scene.
local stuff. And I mean that, like in judo, that's generally, you're still a black belt and you probably have a lot to gain by going to a local tournament.
Yeah.
It's hard. If you've never won 6 matches in a row, like don't let it be at a big name tournament when you're like, I won my 4th match, I won my 5th match. Like there's a lot of different stuff that'll happen to you when you're fighting 7 hours or when you're 6 matches in. Like get that done at a local tournament, fight 2 divisions, and get used to getting on that podium.
Yeah.
Like when my workouts are top floor, like shake hands looking down. Get some practice doing that. Even if it's against a guy that like your little sister could have beat up. Go out there, beat the people you're supposed to beat, and get used to that, that whole process. Because that was another thing I ran into. Like at a big tournament, I had like 5 matches, and my 6th match, my sister could have beat me. Because I was done.
Yeah.
I was so done. It didn't matter who they put out there. I thought they were going to beat me, so guess what? They were going to beat me, and they were going to beat me pretty easily, So it didn't matter what that guy was going through. I think when he saw me stumble out onto the mat, he was like, "Oh, sweet, I got this one wrapped up."
Yeah,
So like,
it's cool.
there's so much to get by doing both. Going to big tournaments sets the bar high.
Yeah.
And it keeps you like a professional.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like seeing our guys, our students in particular, being goofballs, doing disrespectful things, not knowing what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't like them aiming to beat the best. But the lower or smaller tournaments allow you to play, try stuff, and get experience with a lot less pressure. So
Yeah.
there's a ton of benefits in doing both types of tournaments, big and little.
You could like solidify your strategy
Yeah.
at smaller ones.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about tournament strategy before, and kind of like, in the gym you can kind of, try new things and go for like the crazy like Hail Mary, chokes, flying arm bars, whatever. But in competition, especially if it's a points tournament, like sometimes you have to just focus on winning by points, and that's how you play the
develop
game.
your
You're pretty
strategy.
good at the game.
Yep. There's definitely a strategy to it.
Yeah, the game is get your points. Like if you have a chance to, grab 4 points, grab those
it.
4 points,
Grab
and
it.
then you could go for like your submissions that you want to go for.
And if you've never been in that situation, again, it's much easier to accomplish if you're just competing a little more. But if you're doing at those smaller tournaments, it's just going to be easier to dial in your game there than against an awesome national level, international level player. So you're like used to it. It's just part of the process of going through a match.
Yeah. I
And that like for
I
the
like
big
it.
tournaments, that
Yeah.
kind of ends the jiu-jitsu season. Maybe there'll be smaller tournaments that we'll try to get a team down to. Who knows? I know we've been saying this for a while now. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a small tournament very close to here in this building, in this office rather.
yes.
Very, very close, maybe a few steps away. So,
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Because I was actually looking for more tournaments, and I didn't really
Do
see
judo
a
tournaments.
lot. I don't know.
Start on top, start with points. It's not a bad place to be.
If I can like go to the ground,
You can.
can I choke?
It's there.
Aren't
Yes.
there like certain rules? Because I'm only a yellow belt.
Yeah, that's when you should do it now while you're a yellow belt, because you'll have like the most fun ever, and then run away from our promotionals. But you as a yellow belt, you'll have fun and can like throw
Sandbagging.
people.
I want to
and,
go like out there though. I don't want to like fight our yellow belts because I feel like they're good.
Our yellow belts are also good, yeah. But no, when you go out to like, this doing like it used to be called the East Coast Championship, and it's like there'll be a lot of like white belts, like white to brown, like near your weight. And
Can I pull guard?
Can't pull guard.
All right, so I can like do.
Do drop C Nogi to turtle and
Yeah.
then sit for guard.
But you'd have fun doing standing because they're
But
yellow
you can't
belts.
touch the
It's
belts.
not like
Slow
even
sauce.
Masako, who's got like an arsenal of
Mooney
50
slow
attacks.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
like
or just like the Muay Thai, like it basically is a sausage, just like.
But like Euro Sotos and hip throws would be fun in that situation. Not like they're all gonna work, but they're fun and it's different. It kind of keeps you in that tournament groove.
And they're usually on Sundays, and I always work Saturdays, and I don't like to take a lot of Saturdays off to compete in jiu-jitsu, which kind of sucks, but Sunday tournaments I could always do.
Nice and close, nice and fun.
Are they
Meet
close?
people. The next one's like 2 hours away. It's the same building you went when you trained with Kayla Harrison.
Nice.
So
That memory just came up on my Facebook.
yeah.
Kayla just had her first MMA fight not too long ago.
Oh,
Second?
She did. She like
I didn't watch it.
tore it apart.
She's
Canelo Alvarez one. Boxing.
yeah.
Triple G.
Nice.
I didn't watch that fight either.
Kayla's at that point in MMA. It happens to people coming over from other sports, like say high-level wrestlers, high-level judo, high-level strikers. She was a 2-time gold medalist in judo. Like in America, we don't get what that means, but like that means every person in Japan, Russia, Korea, Germany was singularly focused on beating her for 4 years, and they didn't even come close. Like that's how good she was. That's how focused she was. So she applies that same level because that's her. But even if she applied half of that to MMA, that's like such a jump start. So not that she's gonna like dominate, but she has a crazy head start.
Yeah.
Just from that approach.
How old is she?
I believe like mid-20s ish. So yeah, she's still got like a lot left.
Crazy.
She's such a physical threat at that weight. Like, you know.
What is her MMA fighting weight?
I think 55.
Yeah, 55. So like nothing for the UFC right now. You know, what do you?
I think their
Maybe
highest
that's not
is
even
like
a bad thing.
135.
I think 45.
Is
they
it
went to
now?
45. Yeah.
Well, that's what it's. That was Ronda's weight class.
No, I think she cut
she
to
went
35.
to 35.
Oh.
But I think they.
I don't know why they.
I don't think there's any way
Division.
Kayla's making.
To promote
145.
unhealthy body figures, bodies, whatever. Cutting weight is not good for you.
No.
And
It's not.
if you're like me, to go down to 135 would be probably an unhealthy process. You know, like that. Like if I wanted to be in the UFC, I would have to just focus on being skinny. And why would I want to focus on being skinny? I should focus on fighting well. So, anyway, that's my soapbox.
Weight cutting.
My soapbox statement for the episode. I don't know what you're talking about.
We go off tangents.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
that's alright.
I think that's a good podcast.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Just kidding.
No, I'm just saying that's good podcast. They
Yeah, it gotta
Oh, you go off the.
Yeah, so.
But I was gonna say before, I was looking for jiu-jitsu tournaments for us to do as a group, and I couldn't really find any. So, if anyone has like suggestions for that, let me know. We'll make a schedule, and we'll train for it, and we'll carpool, and we'll get you guys ready for it. We'll make sure we have enough coaches. We'll make it
So,
a thing.
obviously, everyone should do judo. That's just a fact of life. But when there's no tournaments, and for whatever reason, if you don't want to do judo, it breaks my heart. But the next best thing I think you can do as a person or a team, a club, whatever, would then be to travel.
Yeah.
So, like for judo, when we don't have tournaments, it's road trip time. We go places, we get other clubs here. So that's like another idea. I would definitely say pick the right clubs. If you don't know the right clubs, check this way. You just want to go to a place that's worth your time.
Yeah.
And that can mean a lot of different things. You don't really need to talk about that much, but you want to go to like a good place. You want to go to, normally if you're worried about you want to go to a place with like good people that'll push you, challenge you, probably tap you, but at the same time where the risk of injury is super low.
Yeah.
Because in jiu-jitsu, like that's one of the best things about jiu-jitsu, and it's something so controllable. Like, I'm not going to get hurt rolling with you two. I could leave my arm out there and you two would make fun of me, but you're not going to put me in the hospital. You got to watch at other clubs potentially. So yeah, but I mean, that's another good thing to do if like this is the end of the tournament season. Travel, and then after that, I would say it's strength and conditioning. Like if you have a gap in the tournament, that's a good time to get all Frankie up here, put the weight on the bar, pick things up, put them down. Put those hands over. That's intimidating.
The head cow is always grazing.
The head cow is always grazing.
Is that like your fortune cookie or something?
It's from a TV show. We'll get into it later.
Do you want to talk about you do the topics?
Yeah. So
Jess is the mediator.
Yeah. I had a question last week about dealing with rigid people, which is, an issue, especially I think with more like beginner people. I think they're like a little bit more rigid because like I feel like when you don't know as much, you're forced.
At least I know how to do this.
Yeah.
At least I can do this.
Stop for a second and maybe think about what to do next, or like at least stop the other person from trying to do
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to put all my strength into it.
Yeah. So
I think when it comes to jiu-jitsu, it's easier to deal with rigid people, just because if you have think about your guard, right? When they straighten their arms, they're rigid.
I had that question too.
Right? They're never going to be too far away from you unless it's like the beginning part where you're like slap hands and then they just keep backing away. Well, if they're like, if they hold on to you, that's fine. It's just if they're like doing you scoot in, they scoot back, I'll stop and just say, listen, just if you don't want to roll, we don't have to roll. But
run away, go ahead.
If you want to roll, let's do it. You're not going to run past anybody's guard. It's not like
in the kids' class, start running around in circles.
But so I think with jiu-jitsu, rigidness is easier to deal with. When you're doing judo, especially like or takedowns in general, I should say it like that. Takedowns, it's tougher because you have to be close to somebody to pretty much take them down. There's not a lot, and you could just keep backing away, where in jiu-jitsu, you can't really back away. If you're on your back, the ground's there to stop you.
Yeah.
If you're on top, you'll have guards, you'll have something like you could start playing open guards, lassos, to start pulling them in.
Yeah.
So I think it's, at least for me, because I do a lot more on the ground than takedowns, it's easier for me to deal with someone rigid on the ground rather than standing up.
Yeah.
So generally, if someone's standing with you rigid, it's so like on a conceptual or higher level, when someone's like rigid and stiff, the first thing I always realize is I am in no danger. Completely, there's nothing you could do to hurt me or even attack me. So all that does is like green light at whatever attack I want to do, right? So it'd be like rolling with you and I know you're not allowed to choke me, sweep me, armbar me, like anything. So you just get to go. That's the number one thing I think about. And that's what helps me deal with it. But when you're
now, does that make it for a boring match? Because I feel like you're trying to
it's
get
not going to last. Like, so now at my level, and I didn't always have this, we teach this, and I think our club is awesome at dealing with stiff, defensive people. I mean, Mitch had a phenomenal throw against someone, Ladi. Like, you have to just know and then be able to apply it, and it's not easy, but generally speaking, at like my level, Vito's level, if someone starts getting stiff on and defensive, it's like your last ditch to try to preserve you. You're literally better off just falling to the ground. than standing up and holding on. Like, don't do it. Just
So
take.
you do sasses and stuff?
Sase's a good one because it gets that angles and movement going. But you're generally only able to be stiff and strong in like one plane, one direction. We teach it like you're a straw. So you're good this way, but if you attack at angles, generally perpendicular. So if you're real stiff this way, I don't know if this makes any sense right now.
Yeah.
And I just cut across 90 degrees, this whole frame doesn't do anything to stop me moving this way. It's literally one of the weakest motions you can do is try to push this way. It's all a small rotator cuff. So to cut across it is very, very easy. To all the stiff armors, rigid, tight people, you're literally getting nothing out of what you're doing. Literally, you're better off letting them, like, so in judo, it's normally people are defensive when you get a good grip or when they're moving fast or whatever. You're just better off letting them do their thing and learning from it. Like if someone's halfway through a guard pass and you're just trying to hold on for dear life, you're just better off letting them pass. Like, and now at least we're working side body. All I'm working here is like some strength, some endurance, and probably ticking off my partner. You're just delaying most of the time what's going to happen. Just let it happen and get better and better, and then ask the right questions. You know, like, hey, what do I do when they get that high grip? You know, what do I do when someone's passing? But you can figure a lot out if you just let it happen. But yeah, the people that are being rigid, you gotta let it go. Most of the time it's ego, right? Like, I don't want you to pass, I don't want you to throw me. Just play, just get better.
Yeah.
And then against people like that, generally just movement and angles. And then I'd say at a certain point, based on your rank and their rank, you could straight up tell them, like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's really not going to help you. You know, maybe there's a moment, right, if like someone slips a grip on me and I'm like, whoa, holy crap. But if I stay there longer than that next second,
Yeah.
the person just, like, you're literally a sitting duck. You're perfectly standing still, target, like.
And you're just not learning how to deal with that situation.
You have to. It's
You
just, you know, judo's all about efficiency. Jiu-jitsu's about either efficiency, effectiveness, however you want to look at. Both of those overall concepts, there's no place for stalling, just stiff arming for any extended period of time. You have to get past that. You have to try something, you know, to improve your situation, or just learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take a little beating.
Yeah.
We're on good mats,
Right?
right? You're just going to
Everyone's
tap,
nice.
no problem.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good. So that's my like concepts for rigidness, and I think the tactics just come off that. You know, like we were talking. If someone I love, if like I have someone in closed guard, because all my other guards are beyond awful. But if someone tries to make that a strength game, I can just turn it into like grip fighting, and I'm probably gonna win that. But if someone gets in my guard and they're like moving and getting loose, and like I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. I don't know it. And I'm trying to make it like a strength and grip game.
Yeah.
You know, but you generally are going to see it more with like inexperienced people, newer people. If you do it, just think of letting it go, doing it quick, and then trying something else.
Yeah. And honestly, like, it's no fun. It's way more fun to just like be flowy and go through the technique. Like when you have like a really dynamic round with somebody where it's just constant changing positions, and that's fun.
Yeah, like let's say the clock's set for like 4 minutes, and me and Frank are gonna roll. Let's say on average, let's just say a number, he'll tap me 5 times, right? If I'm just stiff, defensive, non-active, I can maybe reduce that number. But now both of us had less stuff happen.
Yeah.
Where instead, if he picks up the pace, or I pick up the pace, the only thing that's going to happen is that number of 5 is going to increase, right? Just more stuff is going to happen, which means I'll make more mistakes, which means he's going to capitalize on more situations, which means instead of 5, it might be 7 or 9. let's not embarrass me too
10.
much here, right?
A million.
You've come close. In a 5-minute, I'm like, we're breaking the laws of relativity, and that just happened again. But it might not be fun on the old ego, but you get better.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll definitely with Frank especially. Like if I try a guard pass and he like say guillotines me, we'll slap hands. I'm like, I'm gonna do that again. You're just like, I'm gonna choke you again. Yeah, I know. And like I'll do it again.
Why?
Because I want to get it. So if it's completely wrong, like let's say I'm doing something like there's been guard passes done before where you're like, yo, just never do that. Right? I won't do it. But if I'm just working on a pass that's good and I can get, I
get what you're saying.
I'd rather you choke me out than somebody else.
Yeah, try it until you work out the
I'll do it on you.
Minor mistakes.
If a blue belt starts getting close, I'm like, all right, hold on now.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Wait, maybe I'll go back to the lab on that a little bit.
That leads us to our next topic.
It does.
how
I
about
thought about that when you said
Oh.
that. And I didn't. I mean, I did
That
that
is a
before.
poor mentality.
What?
Just you.
I did
It's
that
true,
before
though.
too. I had like a seamless transition, and I saw it in your face because you knew that I did it.
With
and
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I caught on
you
that.
caught it too.
Yeah.
But this one, I was like, do I do another seamless transition?
Well,
or do
now
I
we did it.
also
Minus
make
this
it-
whole scene
this
here.
whole thing.
Edit.
Okay. Anyway, so sometimes when like people get promoted, I'm making it.
Or
awkward
if you're a
again.
higher rank.
Yeah, so
Higher ranks.
you're higher ranked and you're, rolling around and you kind of feel like the lower ranks are just kind of like going after you, trying to tap you. And usually that comes from like the lower rank wants to just like feel better about their game and say like, oh yeah, I tapped that blue belt over there, I'm doing real good. And then I feel like that blue belt kind of feels like there's all these expectations that are put on them of like, oh my gosh, like I'm a color higher than this person, like I cannot get submitted by them. But
So we've talked about kind of how we like to look at ranks. We didn't talk about all the ranks, but pretty much anybody that's listening is under those divisions, right? None of what I said is you have to be better at rolling. Did anybody pick up on that? I don't know.
No, I think that's all self-instilled pressure.
That's like...
Or, the other thing, I didn't think of this, I've seen this, but when we were talking about, when this came up, have you ever heard someone say, well, I've tapped purple belt, so I should be a purple belt?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
not here.
This
That's,
isn't,
that's not here.
it's not WWF.
Yeah.
Beat the belt, take the belt.
yeah.
No.
And again, going back, that's why I love competition. Now, jiu-jitsu is a little different because it's generally always belts, but like you'll see from like say a different school or a different area, like no stripe blue belt beat a 4-stripe blue belt.
Yeah.
But in like judo, you will see brown belts beat other black belts.
Yeah.
You'll see green belts do it. That's more. And I think we had a green belt or a brown belt here beat a black belt recently. I know I did it coming up. I know Vito did it coming up. Eddie did it coming up. That's not what the belt's for. That's not even what the belt represents.
I think
it's a guideline.
I think one thing our school does really well is really instill the idea of like in the philosophy of martial arts. And belts isn't necessarily the best fighter, but the complete person. And like I think Dean Lister said it not too long ago. He would never give a brown belt to someone who's a jerk. I think he used different words, but we're trying to keep this PG.
Yeah.
So he'll never give a brown belt to a jerk. So not saying that, because you're not getting ranked up is because you're a jerk, but maybe there's something I see that as a higher rank, like something like, hey, I have to be beating everybody to be promoted up, or something along those lines,
That's like the wrong mindset.
Yeah, that's a wrong mindset. That's not what we try to promote here. We're all very, very good here, I think.
Our white belts and blue belts are like way beyond where
Most
we were
are.
at
Yeah.
white belt and blue
Yes.
belt.
and but just because you could tap out a higher rank or whatnot, that doesn't mean for how we do our ranking system, that doesn't mean that you'll get promoted.
So also, if you get tapped out by someone lower, doesn't mean you're not deserving of that rank. There's like, so this, I don't, like, this can go in like so many directions, because
I can talk about this all day.
right, there's so many variables. People could be looking at this like so many different ways. Like, I'll joke, I'll straight up go to like new people, if you have like a wrestler, and I'm like, you could come at me and veto like 100%. You could go for it. But other white belts, you have to think about how you roll with, or train, do takedowns, do judo with, you know, like, because safety and respect have to be there.
Yeah.
I don't mind when someone comes at me in judo, because like I know I'm gonna be safe. I also generally know with a white belt, like whatever, you just go for it.
Yeah.
But it's almost, I can look at it as like a sign of respect. Like they're going for it so hard, maybe just because they want to beat me, maybe they need that much to even try to beat me. But it's all okay because like we're making it respectful and I'm safe.
Yeah.
Right. But
there's also a way to do it that's not respectful.
yeah, right.
Like
That's
if
what
I
was
like, if you and me shake hands and I just punch you in the face and then go for a throw, then you're just
Yeah,
like,
or
dude,
like,
WTF,
you know,
like we're fighting now.
Yeah.
Or I do something dangerous that's trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know?
or let's say, however the match goes, one way or the other, if you're not respectful about it. So, like, one of the things that's very different about the way like I train than Vito is I don't want to say let people throw me, but I'll allow them to work to positions where they should.
Mhm.
So like,
I think
let's
that's
just say like
important.
white belts here, my students, my training partners have thrown me,
Yeah.
and I'm beyond confident that if I ever fought them in a match, they would never throw me.
Yeah.
Right? But
It's
when
good.
they throw me, they're not disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's up, black belt? Or
Yeah.
give me your belt, or I'm the man. It's like, all right, now I'm gonna smack, you know.
But sometimes there are those moments where, like, as higher ranks, like, we do train with low ranks. In that way, like, you kind of try to set them up to help them, but then they take advantage of that, of your, like,
Yeah.
moment of, I guess, like, vulnerability, and then just go in and just try to, like, smash and go crazy.
Man, I got on the wrong end of that not too long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's happened to
Oh
me.
my goodness.
And I don't know if
It's
if
so
they're
my
doing
fault,
it
but
because of like an ego thing, or because they think
They
like,
get excited.
holy crap, like here it is, let me go for it. And then like you have to realize like I am maybe like sticking my arm out so you can armbar me. Don't take my arm and rip it off my body. Just take the for what it is, the submission for what it is, and like get it to a point where it's just straight, and then I tap and then we let go. You don't have to crank it. And I'm not like throwing that out there like anyone did that to me before, but just thinking about that kind of situation, like that's scary for someone like me. Like, you know, I let some, you know, big new guy go for something and thinking about like he could hurt me in that moment. You know what I mean? Like that's, you gotta be careful.
I was definitely on the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
We're at another club, and this green belt asked me to go, and he's like, he looked like he was like my size,
Uh-huh.
right? And we slapped hands and we're moving, and his gripping was incorrect. And I know the instructor teaches the right way to grip or whatever. So all I did, this is like 12 seconds into the match. He felt like near my strength, nothing crazy, and he's a green belt. So all I do is like, my one side's free, should never be free. I just spin and turn my back. I wasn't gonna throw him. I just wanted to show him like how easy it was for me to get into position to throw him.
Yeah.
The like millisecond I start to turn, he just was like, and took everything in for the suplex
Mm-hmm.
and like did it. I mean like big.
Were you okay?
I was fine. It was a good throw. I can fall, and I was like, and so now I'm like,
PG.
I'm like, oh, you, like, it was a jerk move in
Yeah.
my head. It wasn't a jerk move though. I was misinformed. Now we get up and he like sees looking at it, and now I can tell it was like he knows I'm gonna go for it, and he starts fighting hard.
Yeah.
And instantly I realized like, oh, this guy's really good. Like the green belt wasn't what I should have even been thinking about. Then we have a more normal match, and he was really good. This guy, if he competes that weekend, he's gonna win. Like he was an all-American wrestler, and he took his gi off, and he was like CGI guy.
Yeah.
Like his chest was out here, his abs were all over the place. I'm like, how much do you weigh? He's like I cut to 195. I was like, why did I do that? Like that's all I was looking. I'm like, how many people saw that? I hope it's not on the video that's going out on Instagram later.
Yeah.
And like, just for that split second though, I was just like, oh, blah blah blah, and like, no, like so.
But that's kind of his bad too.
No, it's different.
I don't know.
If he was a normal green belt,
He should have been like,
Yeah.
oh, bro, like, just so you know, I'm like a all-American wrestler.
no, it was definitely my bad, just not even thinking of it. And it was nothing major. Like, you get thrown in judo, so it's nothing like.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I don't know, like I just did something, and he just took it. Like, no, bro, I got it. I'm like, okay, cool, you got it. Now, luckily, it was 12 seconds in, and then we had like a nice, good round after. I was like,
that's good.
yeah, but you got to watch how you take people attacking you, and you got to watch, like, there's always the chance, potential, and it's gonna happen
Yeah.
where lower ranks have the ability or potential to tap you or
It
throw
happens.
you or whatever.
To me all the time, and it's like normal. Like Tyler Mooney is technically a belt below me, but we've been doing this stuff for almost the same amount of time, I think, and like,
Something like that.
I don't know, close. And like he just trains all the time. He's really good, and if Tyler catches me, then it's whatever. Like I know Tyler isn't gonna try to hurt me or whatever. Like same with like Jonathan. Like he's a blue belt. He'll catch me, and I'm okay with that. You know, like
Pretty sure he's got
because
Pretty sure he's got me too.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's real good. And it's just, and I respect that. Like, some people are just going to be real good, and their belt's going to be a different color that's a lower belt than mine, and that's okay. And, like, I think, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think sometimes when you get your blue belt, that's like your first, like, colored belt. Like, you should feel good
You
about.
feel like you ranked up.
Yeah, and you should feel good about it because that's a big accomplishment, but it's also not, you're not magically like better than the
You were 2
white
days
belt
ago.
or like the
Yeah.
4-stripe white belt that's been training like 2 months less than you. You shouldn't think that you could never get tapped by a white belt ever again, because it's gonna happen, and they are gonna kind of like go after you, and it is kind of like a little like scary sometimes, especially like for your ego. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't get tapped, but it's like, it's okay. We're not gonna say anything.
Minus points.
Yeah, that's
You get minus stripe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't do that.
No.
You're fine.
The truth is, really, you should look at it as we're lucky
Yeah.
to have training partners like that, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure no one else but me has gone through this in training, where for a good amount of time, this was before like Vito got really good, and while like Timmy was off fighting wars, there'd be people that couldn't throw me, and I mean like a year at a time. If you stagnate in that situation, you're kind of lucky. If you don't drop off, or drop off can be completely expected, but it's not, for me, a good environment when you want to get better, when there's no one that can push you.
Yeah.
So like to have, like I think I'm so lucky to have someone like Masato, Mitch, those were the 2 white belts recently who caught me good. You're
Yeah.
like, good, like that's what you want. Like, you know, or now like
And that means you're doing a good job as a coach.
yeah, like we're coaching these people up, but like, I mean, they're able to like take advantage of these situations just to recognize them, because some of this happens so quick that if you don't even recognize it instantly, it's too late. So like, you know, Mitch last week, like I flashed one thing, and it was something we drilled that day, and I was, you know, I like yell and scream during training, so I was like doing it on
does.
people.
He does.
a lot.
I always think somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah, and it's just Tom.
This is where we run. But like, I was like doing this tactic on a bunch of people, and I'm like, Sensei Vito just showed me that. Hey, Sensei Vito showed me that. Hey, it works. But like then I was flashing it on Mitch, and it worked. And I'm like, that's awesome, because now I know like I can't make that mistake on Mitch. Like it's one thing to flash it, he threw me, and then I'm like, all right, well, freak that. He's got that. I'm not making a habit of doing that. Or like other people, like how hard I'm fighting them to not let them get me. You know what I mean? Like I'm super happy that there's that type of talent now on the mat. You know, because it lets everyone get so much better, so much quicker.
Yeah.
You think about where I was at 10 years, these people should be here at 5. Where I'm at 20 years, man, it's going to be embarrassing how quick people get to where it took me 20 years to get, you know, like, and that's going to be really awesome, because then I'm a young man. I'm only 40. I got at least 50, 60 more years.
That's true.
Maybe more with
That's
advancements in medical. So much. How long are you going to do judo?
Till I can.
They met like the workout.
Probably like another hour.
But like to have the next generation and then the generation after that, that's what makes like powerhouse, silly good clubs.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm so excited to see how that goes down the road when like, you know, like on the judo side, we're a few years away from probably doubling our black belts. You know, like it's no joke. I think when it's me, Eddie, Jen, Vito, like those are our core. We have then Vitaly, Cheryl, other black belts, but in like a few years, we'll have double those black belts. So like any white belt coming through the system, y'all gonna be lucky.
Yeah.
Just stick with it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We're hitting at 41 minutes. I think this is long enough.
I was just getting warmed up, man.
I know.
And I want to go back to some of these
I'm
now.
starting to fall asleep.
At the fire, caffeine's working well today.
I got the big coffee
I
today.
got the big coffee. I'm not feeling it.
I'm all on my energy shots. You ever seen that crazy contraption I have?
It's a
Use it.
contraption.
It's like a wine box, like a box of wine.
Oh yeah, I see.
But
I
it's like-
accidentally threw one of them away.
Oh, that, yeah.
What?
Because
That
he
was
downed
awesome.
it, and I was like, alright, the garbage was right next to me, so I was like, put my hand out to toss it, and he tossed it to me, and I threw it in the garbage.
I thought he wanted to like see what the deal was with this thing, because it's like you buy this like liter of juice, and each ounce has like the equivalent of like a Monster energy drink. So I like wake up, Rach is making coffee, whatever. I just like,
You don't like coffee, do you?
no.
I love that
I love
though.
coffee.
I love the feeling of just like wake up, have a warm cup of coffee, maybe
I
like
do that, then
stare
I
out
start
the window.
Chugging water. No, I don't.
I
Not
love
my thing.
the like experience of coffee, not just. I like the taste of coffee, but I like the experience too.
Not something I'm not
Oh, we went to
blessed
this
with liking.
little coffee shop when we were in New York yesterday, and I usually don't go into like quaint little places because I feel like I'm just like a bull in a china shop. Like I'm just gonna break everything. But the sign outside, it was like Tina from Bob's Burgers. It was like something like I like coffee, tea, and butts in that order. And then the other side of the sign was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like she needs coffee to slay the day. And I was like, you got me. And I went in and I actually got a really good iced mocha.
Did you break anything?
No, thank
Bonus.
goodness. Yeah.
Bonus.
I didn't go very far past the counter though. There's like other space in the back. I probably would
It
have
was
opened
very,
everything.
it was very small.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how you drink just like energy drinks.
And I don't even do like the energy drink. Like, cause I do like drinking a Monster.
Yeah.
It's like the metallic taste.
Ew.
You drink like,
Tommy's just like, I love pure
you
caffeine.
feel yourself getting fired up and ready for a workout or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm just like, it's all just like, it's a shot, it's 1 ounce. And then like, a few minutes later, all right, let's go lift something, let's go.
Let's go move some furniture.
Yeah. Pumped up. I'll take one before tonight's workout, most likely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut back caffeine. I know that's Frank. Frank thinks
Every,
it's like the devil.
every 2 weeks, I hear about Tommy cutting back on caffeine. It's worse than EJ going on keto. EJ, if you're listening to this, are you on keto yet?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing keto. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm gonna text EJ just so you can listen to the very end at least. But
Keto?
every 2 weeks I hear Tommy, I'm cutting back on caffeine, and then next week he comes in with a big monster or whatever. Yeah, a 2-liter.
Mountain Dew's been the biggest drop off in my caffeine now. I'm like maybe one a day. That's like the willpower. That's tough for me.
Are you increasing more on your?
Water. Just water.
Have you increased more on your energy drinks? Are you taking like
I'm like
3
cutting back
ounces
it
of
up.
those?
No. I'm trying to limit myself to 1 Mountain Dew at like lunch a day. Sometimes I skip lunch.
I never.
And I
skip lunch.
just have Mountain Dew.
I still have the Mountain Dew, right? But
I just put protein in Mountain Dew, and there you go.
I used to put glutamine in it.
I don't
Glutamine
know.
can't taste it or anything.
Alright, I'm tired.
Alright, thanks guys for listening.
We out?
We have hoodies coming up, so
Yeah.
please comment.
Find that.
You'll see it in the members group. It's already gone. I'm looking at it right now. Right now, the big ones are gray,
Gray, I like gray.
army green. Matt said anything but black. I truly
I
agree
like
with that.
I like white with black lettering. I think that would be cool. I know it might get dirty, but
It will be.
everything will get dirty.
Alright.
But gray's cool. I like gray.
Yeah,
So we'll get like maybe some ideas and then
and then we'll decide.
Keep the questions coming. Today were 2 good questions I really, really liked, so please keep them coming. Or else you're just going to hear me talk about judo all day.
yeah. Or what we should do is we should get like a projector and just watch clips on the internet and talk about it.
Yeah.
We should do some stuff like that.
I could talk about clips on the internet.
Cool. Alright, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye! Peace out! You like that?